Brendan, so good to have you here on this podcast.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it was super cool to meet in person at CMPX, get to talk shop a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's crazy when you like meet someone online and then you finally meet them in person. You're like, all right, let's cover everything that we've very little talked about online and just go in depth. So
Yeah, no, it's good. So I think this is going to be a great conversation today. And I love the work that you guys do at Skillcan, and especially your expertise. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun talking about the technician world and what's going on from a training perspective.
love it. Let's do it.
So obviously, we are in a technician shortage. Where are you seeing what are some of the contributing factors to that you see in your world?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's been 20 years, 30 years in the making of we're seeing this shortage of I mean, when I was in high school, the only path to do well for yourself was go to college. And like if you didn't go to college, you were looked at a little bit differently at the time. I think it's very different now to like how you're looked at that, but I'd say that's one of the biggest things is we've had college shoved down our throat for the last 20, 30 years. Not to say that college isn't good because there's a lot of people that do need to go to college for certain careers, but it's not the only path to success that we've heard about for the last 20 years. So that's where I've seen like the biggest cause of what we've gotten into. And I think a lot of the cases too, we've fallen into this trap of I'll just hire from trade school, let people make these choices rather than develop a tech yourself internally with inside your business. There's a lot
Mm,
of ways to hire, a lot of ways to train up today. And I think we've only looked one path to recruitment and training for a very long time.
yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I mean, when you're in this situation where there's not a lot of talented people to pull from, sometimes you have to create that talent.
100%.
So yeah, I guess, like, what are you seeing, most contractors doing about this?
So I guess it varies across different sizes of companies. If you're looking at like a small SMB company, they're trying to bring in one or two apprentices and give people a shot. Maybe you were at the bar and you've got a buddy whose kid was considering becoming an electrician, a plumber, an HVAC tech, and you're like, do you know what? Hey, if he's looking for a summer job, would love to have him come in and be a helper for me. So I think like that's one of the good ways that these small companies are being able to like bring some young talent into the trades, show them the value that it brings to work with your hands and work a hard day and go home sweaty and tired. Like it means something. It carries like that extra weight. Um, so I think that's one of the really good ways I've seen some of these SMB companies do it. And they're giving one, two people the case and to come in. And that's really all they can do because you're still paying these people. You can't bring in 25 people, pay them when they're not profit producing yet. Um, Now, some of the medium-sized to large businesses are bringing in a lot more people. They're building apprenticeship programs, which are becoming very attractive, especially here in the US right now. A lot of funding going in towards apprenticeship programs. They bring on 4 or 5 people, kind of like a small cohort, and they're putting them in the trucks, giving them a path to success and watching them develop. So they might have a manager that's kind of running that program, a trainer manager that's in there pushing that too. Now, I'm seeing a lot of these large companies that are doing some really cool things, and not all companies have the budget to do this, but come winter into spring, they'll open up job positions to hire entire cohorts. I mean, 15, 20 people at a time for a given location. And they are training them for the next 3 or 4 months, getting them ranked up for when summertime comes around, and they're throwing them in the field as PM techs. They're putting them as like helper installers. They're putting them in trucks next to service technicians and letting them watch while someone else does it, which works really well. I think one of the hard parts that I've seen from some programs that are doing that is just because you've gotten them out there doesn't mean that you're done training them. Those PM techs
Mhm.
need to be install techs. Those install techs should be trained on service. Once they get to service, you should probably start cross training them into plumbing or electrical if they want to do that. Uh, and you just continue utilizing all of the people that you have in your business for everything.
Mm. So what do you see, or I guess in, all the time you've spent working with small, mid-sized contractors, what made you see that traditional watch and learn approach isn't really effective enough?
Yeah, and there's a lot of things. I mean, for one, watch while someone does it. I mean, you might do something one way, I might do something completely different, and you have no standard. So if one person has messed up and you haven't flagged it for 20 years, but you've trained five or six technicians under that guy, you've now got five or six people that have learned for the last 20 years how to do something very wrong. And you know what they say about old dog, new tricks, so they're all kind of stuck with doing it that way. Um, versus when you have like a standardized curriculum and you have like a standard best practice SOPs of this is how we go through and do it, and this is the correct way to go through and do it, and you train everyone on that practice, everyone goes through and does it the right way. And you don't have
Mm.
to worry about Jeff doing it one way, Amanda doing it one way, Brendan doing it completely different. Everyone follows that one path, and you know that you're going to have a consistent output.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think hearing that, I mean, intuitively, we all kind of say, oh, yeah, of course, I need to have a structured training program. But actually going about doing that, especially if you're smaller, but even if you're not that small, but you guys are busy, everybody needs to be doing something, like that sounds like a giant project. Where do you even begin with developing a standardized curriculum? Yeah, how do you make that doable?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, come take a look at Skillcat is what I would say, but I don't want to plug us the whole time. Is start small. What's the like what are you getting callbacks on? How can you start upskilling and training on those things and changing the things that are affecting your monetary side of your business? Of like, if you're doing a callback, you're not charging them, you're going there, it's free, you've lost of revenue. Start there. But you also then have to take another step back too and kind of look at like your business. So are you the type of owner that is actually going to make training a core part of your business? Now, when I say that, it doesn't mean like, oh, we're going to do ladder safety training every Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning because our techs are going to be so excited to do that. No, no one's going to be excited. They're going to fall asleep and they're like, cool, I get an extra hour of nap when I show up on Wednesday mornings. That's all they're going to do. But when you like take a look at your business as a whole, like I just made a post about this, or I'm posting it real soon. It was like McDonald's and Toyota, two very big companies out there. But from the very start, they realized like they had to build their own talent. So Toyota has their own university. They train all of their own people on how to build the cars, how to work on the cars. McDonald's has McDonald's University. You can go to like a McDonald's college to learn about the business and start as like a fry, make the burgers, be a store manager. They realize like, all right, we're not having people left and right come in and apply to be the McDonald's store manager, but we need to build that talent internally. And that's where a lot of these companies need to go through and go start, is like make it a core part of their business. It's a culture. You're saying, all right, we are going to train. I want you to go out there and go train. I'll give you 1 hour, 2 hours a month of time off in the office to just sit there on a computer and go through YouTube, or go rip something apart and build it and then show me what you did. Go make it a core part for every single person in your business. Now, I get you can't do that 24/7 year round, but winter when it gets slower, are you pushing that? Talking to the guys of like where they have a good time. Maybe you do. Everyone loves pizza. I mean, me and you were just talking about this, right? So it's like, all right, throw pizza, but have everyone go in there and go work on the most brand new unit that you're going to start installing. So bring it into your business in that way and
Mm.
truly mean it. It's not like an HR Check. All right, we've got training, we've got a curriculum to go through. Let's see if anyone does it 6 months from now. No, it's got to be part of your training where like you're checking it weekly, bi-weekly of like, all right, who's done stuff, who hasn't, and reward the people that are doing stuff.
Mm, I like that a lot. And yeah, I think you kind of hinted at it there, but one of the things, and I think about this in my business all the time, we've got this library of SOPs and videos. Even if you build something like that, how do you make sure that, well, A, I guess people are actually availing of that training, those resources, and B, how do you make sure that they are actually applying what they've learned there?
Yeah. I would again, Skillcat really tackles a lot of these questions, but like as a core part of your business, make how training happen. So if you are doing, eh, my favorite one is like ladder safety at Wednesday, 8 o'clock in the morning. All right, you've gone through and you've watched the video. Go hand like a 5, 10 question quiz out at paper. I know it's an old thing. It comes off a printer. Used to be from trees, paper now. Go hand that out to everyone. And you just have them go in there and have them answer the 5 questions. Real easy. See who gets it, who doesn't get it, who got right stuff, who got the wrong, and then go make it practical. So go do something. Go set up a ladder in the warehouse and test them on what they just answered. Like how many points of contact do you need to have when you're climbing up on a ladder? Can they do that? Go give them a bucket and tools and then say, go climb the ladder and see what they do. Because they might just say, all right, I've got both right here, and they're going to go try and climb up it. They're going to get hurt. All right, you need to go sit back down and understand you have no idea what ladder safety is. So go make it practical to how they've done it. And it doesn't have to be hard. You can do this for a lot of different things. Go find a broken unit from a house that you did a new install. Keep it, put it in the back of your warehouse and go work on it. Those small things will add up over a long period of time.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I was just thinking about as you were talking about that too. I mean, obviously, small and medium-sized businesses, there's not a lot of spare time just kicking around, but oftentimes as owners or as leaders at the company, you're getting the same questions all the time. And if you can point someone to like, "Hey, great question. This is actually covered here," that's ultimately gonna save you a lot of time and energy, as a leader in that company as well.
And you bring up two different things right there. So I guess for one, for HVAC during the summertime, no expectation that anyone's going to do any training. I mean, come on. The team's already working 70 hours a week easy. Like, that's just not going to happen. Push it off to the side. Understand, like, if they do have some downtime, cool, here's a resource for you to use if you want to. But also, just go have a cold soda. Like, I get it. You're working hard. So don't be on them because if you are on them during the summertime and they're working that much, they're going to be like, do you not see me? Do you not see everything I'm already doing for you? You actually hurt yourself. But to your point of during the downtime of like, how do these small businesses do it? If you're not doing it, what's costing you more and what's going to cost you more over the long run? If you
Mm.
have someone that doesn't know how to properly install, and you've got for every 10 installs, one callback, and they're doing, gosh, let's say 100 installs during the summertime, that's 10 callbacks. What is that one value? And let's say that's one person. Now let's imagine you have 4 people doing that install. How much does that actually cost you? We're talking hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, that is so true, and I think it's something that, yeah, there's not always like a full circle thinking about those things. It's just, yeah, we get these callbacks and that's part of business. But if you're
Yeah.
tracking those things, you're monitoring them and then putting things in place to be able to reduce the number of callbacks that you have, that's easy to attribute an ROI to.
Yep. And make an assessment, like same like the ladder safety. Hand out a quiz, have them fill it out. put some trick questions in there, see what they answer. They don't know. Half the team is good. Cool, you're out there. Other half, I need you guys to hang out here for the next 30 minutes. We're gonna go over some stuff real quick. That's it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess in your experience, are most contractors coming to you because they know they have a problem with training and, like, the quality of work because of that? Or yeah, I guess, like, how aware are you finding people that this is a pain point for them?
Yeah, so I mean, come to us for a bunch of different reasons. One, it's like, all right, I want to cross train and upskill across multiple trades. Okay, boom, they come to us. Others is there's a labor gap. I can't find anyone with experience, so we're gonna start building our own techs in-house. That's like a big reason because I think no matter what size, everyone has kind of realized like this is a investment we have to make and an expense at times we have to make because if we don't, there's no one that exists with 5 years of experience that's going to come in here and be great. If you find someone that's off work and they're they're just there at home and it's like, oh, cool, this is a unicorn. Well, awesome, we need this guy. Your first question should be like, all right, what's wrong with them? And we really need to have a conversation with them because everyone's snatching them up. Yes, you could find a guy to steal from one company down the road, but then they're just going to do that to you too. So you have to build your own techs. Um, but a lot of other people do end up coming in and they're like, hey, um, we're getting a lot of callbacks on this one thing or this one area and they're leveraging in person. But because once you get to a larger size company, there's so many different things to go over, and sometimes multiple locations. You might have one training manager that's good at HVAC or good at plumbing, and you're like, hey, I need a training program that can help upskill someone's troubleshooting skills on mini splits because my instructor has no idea about HVAC. That's when they're also coming to us.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm curious, I guess, with taking people from a non HVAC background, or even, you talk about creating opportunities for apprentices, some kid, that's kind of interested in the trades. Do you see any shifts in how younger generations are learning? Like, is that different? Are you seeing generational differences when it comes to training?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things to unpack there. So, like, the younger generation for training, completely different. I mean, I was just talking with a company yesterday, and one of his problems while he was looking at our platform was like, I used to be able to talk for 45 minutes and I can see people slowly zone out. He's like, I feel like today it's minutes, if not seconds, before I lose their attention because they're already over here, they're checking their phone, they're doing something else, they can't pay attention. So that's the importance of like how you create training and how you do training is like make it for the ADHD brain. Make it for the ADD person who can barely keep one thought. If you build it for them, a lot like how like YouTube videos are built. If you haven't watched him, like Mr. Beast is one of the largest dudes on YouTube. Take a look at him. The way that he creates content is very look here, do this, action, boom, sound. That's what you want for training because even though it's like, wow, this is scattered, it works really well for the person who is used to learning like that. That's why hands on are good with tradespeople. They like to touch it, they like to feel it, they can focus there, but there's stuff going on around them. It gives them so much that they can focus in.
Yeah, I love that. And, obviously, we're talking about the training side of things, how that can help to expand your workforce, how that can help you to cross train, upskill people. How do you see training being a part of your brand as an employer? Is that something that can help to attract better people as well?
Yeah, I mean, we hear all the time of like one of the companies that we work with, they actually reached out because they wanted to build an apprenticeship program. And the reason why they wanted to build an apprenticeship program wasn't because they made it part of their culture, to be totally transparent and honest with you. is like they actually wanted to bring it in because the company down the road had one and
Mm.
people were interviewing at two places. So this company was saying, "Hey, we have an apprenticeship program. We're going to develop you. Here is your pay scale of how you develop over the next 4 years." And then this company, they would come in, they're like, "Well, we're going to train you." Sure, that's it. So they were losing all of the talent to the people down the road. And it's like, all right, so we need to have one. If it's at the point now where like if you don't have one, that young talent that's really good that you want to come into your business and pick your business, you're losing them.
Mm.
It's like having
Yeah,
benefits or not having benefits anymore today.
that's true. That makes total sense. Because I mean, obviously, if there's a shortage of good talent there, you need to stack more and more things to make it, it's like trying to keep customers, but now you gotta take that same approach with employees.
You're spot on. And with this younger generation too, it's not yes, it's like, hey, here's your path to develop over the next 4 years. You want to have that conversation with them, but you also want to look at like, here is the way that we're going to progress you every quarter, how we're going to look at your growth on a monthly basis. Because the younger generation isn't thinking, dude, if I work really hard, 10 years from now, I'm going to be able to, buy a house, get married, do all these things. They're thinking like, okay, very short term, how can I go buy that new car by summertime to go ride around in it? Like they're thinking instantaneous, fast, they want instant rewards and they want to hear it. So like they're gonna want to see that. They're gonna know that you have a plan set up to be able to do that for them. Um, so
Yeah, and how much more professional you seem as a company as well if there's a roadmap to your growth when you start working there. And there's also that feeling as well of like, okay, this is a company that's actually going to invest with me. They're going to help me to accomplish my goals. And that creates so much better of a feeling than, I just come in and we'll see how it goes from there. This company has a plan. They expect a certain level of excellence from their team, and they're gonna invest back in me if I join them.
and you as a manager too, you want to have those conversations like one on one, like, hey Crystal, how has it been the last 3 months? Anything good? Anything I can help you out with? Like, how's it going? And based on their responses, I mean, I can't exactly say like what to look for, but you'll figure it out over time. Is like they might be a little bit down in the dumps. They might be very honest, but like it's been awful. I haven't been getting the hours that I want. And you're like, this guy's about to leave us, but he's one of our top techs. He's not happy. You're not having those conversations. You're one day gonna get a phone call of, hey, um, Jeff just left. He just dropped the keys off to the car. We have 5 installs next week, and he's our only install tech. What are we gonna do? And that's a position you don't want to be in.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I guess on that note, are you seeing with having more of a formal training program, are you seeing more companies have duplication in roles or even being able to pick up a lot more quickly if somebody leaves?
Yeah, I mean, so training is a small piece of, kind of what we're talking about here is like a career progression. You're building a pipeline. That's the key part. So even though it's like I have one install guy, if you have an apprentice who's PM and he started to go through training, he's got a little bit of hands-on with install, you have someone that you can trust to go out there and start doing some of the work. Yeah, you should be out there with them for the next week, but that doesn't mean that your entire operations stop. Those 5 people that you had installs for completely go away. You might only be able to get 3 of them done because that's the speed that your new guy works. You now have this constant pipeline of people that if you lose a service tech or if you lose an installer, you've got someone that's learning to backfill. So your whole business doesn't go at risk when one person leaves now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's so crucial. So, Brennan, we've obviously covered a ton here, but for anybody listening, if they could only take one thing away from our conversation today, what would you want them to?
Good question. Um, One thing I would say is like make training part of your culture and like truly mean it and look at like what is training actually costing you. Um, so take a hard look at it and say like, 5 years from now, are you going to wish that you had brought one apprentice in so that 5 years from now you might have 10 more employees that are really, really good? And what would 10 employees mean to you is what I would say.
Love that. What is the best way for our audience to connect with you and learn a little bit more about what you're up to and more about SkillCat?
Yeah, come take a look at Skullcat on our webpage at skullcatapp.com. You can also download our app for a free 3-day trial. All the training certifications are on there, and if you like it, you can reach out to us on the website. Right at the top corner, it says for contractors. Click that, request a demo. We'll get on there. We're not just going to sales pitch you. We're going to talk about whether training is actually good for your company and your culture. And if it is, we'll get you set right up.
Amazing. And we'll be sure to pop some links in our show notes as well. So if you're listening or checking this out on YouTube, you can go to our website at beyondthetoolspodcast.com to grab all those relevant links. Brendan, thank you so much for being on the show. I think our listeners definitely learned a lot here about making training a vital part of their business.
Thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to it. And anyone that wants to talk about it, I'm a little bit passionate about it. So feel free to reach out and we can just talk for a little bit. Thank you so much for having me on.
Love that. Thank you, Brendan.
So
Hey.